Chris just went a little while ago out to Europa and took Allen Ginsberg's poetry writing course for a week, and had a good time out there. And when he came back, he had his notebook full of these little haikus. And he had a great Greyhound bus ride all through Texas and New Mexico and down to New Orleans. And so, in the next coffee house we have, we're going to hear more of those. Tonight we've got a lot more people coming on here, and I want to get a couple more people up here. Here's, if I would like to, I've got 4 more people that I want to invite up here, 4 more different people. And I know you have to, like, if you feel like getting coffee or getting something, you must do that. Don't worry about interrupting the people that are up here. You don't have to, this is a coffee house, you don't have to be glued to the receiver. But I think I did promise that I would read a little clip of a couple-minute poem from my West Virginia stuff. So I'll read that now, and then I'm going to ask up Leonard Wolf. So let me just do that. When I play music, tonight I'm not playing much music. I will play a little music toward the end when the dogs come back up and I can have some good backup. And we'll have a lot of good stuff there going, but for the time being, I'll just take a clip out of my West Virginia Graveyard series. I was born in West Virginia, and that's why I know about coffee houses. Because in West Virginia, there never was a coffee house. In fact, there's not much of anything when you get out in the country that resembles a coffee house. And so I went back a few months ago, last fall, to the graveyard in West Virginia where my grandma and grandpa are buried. And I wrote this poem called How the Living Interrupt the Dead. How the living interrupt the dead. How the living, with all their chatter and clatter and social talk, and pneumatic tires on gravel roads, how the living break into, almost like burglars, break into the sightless sleep of the dead. How the living manage their years by marking calendars and looking into mirrors at their own changing selves and invent age, as in, how old are you? To make sense of this rushing, sensuous interruption of the silent, eyeless dead. This sensuous interruption which the living call life, I wonder what the dead call it, this interruption. Do they call it life? Do they call it death? Do they call it anything at all? Do they even call? The raucous living ones are always calling, and hearing the blood of my brother calling from the grave. The noisy living ones always clamoring about their roots, clamoring about their family line, clamoring about banging commode seats in public restrooms, clamoring about birthdays and anniversaries and beginnings and endings. The fidgety living can never stand still, never sit still, never be still for even but a few moments. How the dead are different in their motionless graves. The still dead, the non-moving dead, the silent, non-uttering dead. Neat and orderly, all lined up in a row dead. No united parcel truck deliveries for the dead. No chalk and eraser for the unrestless dead. No making out in back seat of summertime convertibles for the dead. No brown bags and vintage wine at the Friday night let's dine out restaurants. No eating for the mouthless dead. No tailgates banging on Ford pickup trucks driving into the barnyard for the earless dead. How the dead are different. How the dead are different from rock and roll. So utterly silent, so totally undanceable are the footless dead. No sound here, no low rumbling from 6 feet under, no sound to interrupt the soundless granite gravestone markers here at my feet. Nothing but crickets in October afternoon, cowbells in the distance, cowbells in the distance. I've come here to Buckleman's small country cemetery out on American Ridge in West Virginia, and I sit here on the grass at the foot of Grandma Florence Riethmiller's grave. She lays right between her first and second husbands, and the marker reads, Mrs. Florence Lee Riethmiller, 1874 to 1962. And I can remember all these memories still there of Grandma Riethmiller and how we drive out there on American Ridge and see Grandma every Sunday afternoon. We drive out in the Dad's car, a 1953 seafoam green Ford Fairline four-door sedan, every Sunday to lay by the old fireplace and spread out on the floor and read the Saturday Evening Post and Life magazine. Oh, yes. And Grandma would bring a custard pie from the pantry, and we all had to eat it. I can remember Grandpa Bert Riethmiller, how he laughed and gave me a $5 gold piece. I was five years old at the time, and on the year of my 7th birthday, he died, February 27th, 1953. I remember the long, slow drive, the long line of cars creeping up Slop Hollow Hill and out American Ridge to Little Country Graveyard, here beneath my feet. Can you remember? Can you remember, Grandma, when we stood around the open grave and threw chunks of dirt down onto Grandpa's coffin? Boom, thump, boom. Can you remember? It was real cold day, and everybody was shivering. And Daddy had tears in his eyes, but he didn't cry. I thought, this is my daddy's daddy, and he's dead. It was an awful black, numb-shaped thought. And I felt terrible sad. I cried a little bit and felt very bad, and I didn't know how to feel. Aunt Lucy or Aunt Catherine was crying real loud, and I felt bad. I didn't know what shape to feel. But can you remember? Can you remember like I do? Can you remember, Grandma?